8 shining moments presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Today, we talked to former North Carolina star Luke Maye about the shot that beat Kentucky and sent the Tar Heels into the Final Four. All right, now pleased to be joined by none other than former UNC Tar Heel Luke Maye, straight from Italy, where he's learned how to cook overseas. And Luke, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Jeff. Thank you so much for having me on. And I'm learning and adjusting to different responsibilities and things like that. But it's been good for me, and I'm excited for the rest of the season and continuing to finish strong. That's a big plan.
Well, I'm excited to have you relive one of the greatest NCAA tournament moments that I've ever been at, Luke. And you and I kind of have a little bit of a bond here because after that big shot, which we'll get to in a minute, I interviewed you for ESPN, and it was an interview I'll never forget because we've known each other a while. We've known each other since you were walk-on as a freshman at Carolina. And, you know, as a sophomore, you weren't playing a whole heck of a lot, Luke. You were not playing a whole heck of a lot until the NCAA tournament. I think you had 3 double-figure scoring games in your first 64 career games in Chapel Hill. And all of a sudden, Luke, Roy Williams starts giving you some runs, some real playing time. And what was the start of that tournament like? I mean, Texas Southern, the big game for you was Butler, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Texas Southern, and then I mean everybody remembers Gonzaga or Butler, and obviously Kentucky. But I mean, Arkansas gave us a really tough game, and they had a lot of really good players. And Moses Kingsley was a great player. Jordan Barford. I mean, Dwayne. They had Daryl Macon. I mean, they had really good players. And but I mean, I kind of had a solid game the first 2 games, and we pulled out against Arkansas. And then, honestly, against going into Butler game, they had a 4-man who was very, very skilled, and I can't remember his name. I remember his number. I think he was like number 34 or 43. And but like all week in practice, like I was on the scout team, obviously, and I was playing him, and I was killing, like scoring, rebounding, and it just like continued to give me confidence. And like going into that game, like I was just ready to go. And unfortunately for us, our starting 4-man Isaiah got a little foul trouble, and it's next man up. And I went in and had great confidence going in. And as you know, Jeff, like with any great player, like if you get a little confidence, you see a couple shots go in, like it's tough to stop, and you get rolling. And I mean, it was just a lot of fun, and just have that in my first double against Butler, and kind of going into Kentucky. I mean, it's kind of what you write in storybooks is really what it is.
So give me your thoughts. You're going against Kentucky, and they got pros. They got dudes.
They got some studs.
De'Aaron
you
Fox
see all
is
the
a
guys,
pro, right? Like
all the guys
is a
in the
freak.
NBA now. I mean, they just had pro after pro after pro, and they were young, but and we knew we were experienced, and we had I'm sure you'll cover that moment in later in this, but we had a tough year the year before. So, I mean, just trying to kind of know that in the back of our mind and just not letting anything get in our way. And that was kind of our mindset. And I mean, it just, again, Isaiah kind of got in foul trouble early in that game. And I came in, hit a couple shots. And I mean, the big thing with Coach Williams that I love, and like no matter who you are, no matter how you're playing, like he goes with the guys who are playing well. And like he could have easily put Isaiah back in the game late in the game, but I was playing well, and he rode with me, and that just showed a lot about how great of a coach he is. And then Isaiah played great in the Final Four in the championship. And I mean, that's just about how good our team was, and that's really important.
Yeah, I mean, Elite Eight, it doesn't get bigger than that, Luke. The moment you're in and you're thrust in there, and how, like, are there nerves at that point, or are they gone by the time you're kind of in the middle of that game? Are they gone and you've forgotten about everything?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like coming in that game, like you mentioned, like I hadn't played very much, but like you said, like the Butler game was really big for me. I mean, just on a stage like that, like very first like Sweet 16 game I played in, really. And I mean, I play like that. Like, it gave me a ton of confidence. And like going into the game against Kentucky, like the one day at practice we had, I was on the scout team as Derek Willis, and like I was still scoring really well. And I've actually played against Derek over here in Italy. And I mean, it's a great player that I've enjoyed playing against, enjoyed competing against. But so I had a lot of confidence going in. And like once you get in and kind of get over that like first little rush of adrenaline, it's basketball and you play. And so it's a big rivalry. I mean, blue bloods, it's huge. I mean, the stage could be a little bit bigger, I guess, Final Four and championship. But I mean, Elite Eight is still a huge stage. And I just, like I said, hit a couple of shots and got going, which was the big for me.
So you guys were right. You were down with like 5 minutes left. Then you guys wanting to run.
We were up about 5.
What's that?
Yeah, we were down 5, and then we were up 5. It was back and forth. That's for sure.
That's what I remember. So I remember you guys going up like 7 and with like a minute left. And I'm like, this is over. There's no way they're coming back against Kentucky at this point. Like, again, so you're up. Then they go up with about a minute, you guys are up with about a minute left. Then Fox hits
a big three in the corner. Yeah.
And then Monk comes down, and he had torched you guys earlier in the year. Torched you guys, right?
Yeah, he struggled that game. It's a lot of he had like 47. Yeah. And we always remember that because that was a blockbuster game as well. Like both teams scored 100. It was crazy in Vegas. But I think actually Monk hit a 3. Yeah. And then I think we were still up maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And I think that's when Justin made the dunk.
Right.
And I think Monk hit another 3. Yeah. Yep. I think Monk hit back-to-back 3s, which were tough. And like all credit to Justin. Like he played unbelievable defense all game. I think Monk only had like 6 or 8 points that game, which is a really incredible defense. And he's a great player. And he obviously Fox hit a huge shot, and then he hit 2 big 3s, both very contested. And I should have helped a lot more on the second 3. I mean, it was just right over my hand, but it was a great shot. And it kind of led to kind of the last play, which was, I mean, it still gives me chills thinking about it for sure.
So run through it. Monk hits a 3 with about 7 seconds left.
Yeah. And many people don't remember, but Justin missed a 1-and-1 right before that. I mean, if he makes 1, I mean, my shot doesn't even matter, you know. Right, so
you thank
just
him for
like
that?
the amazing things. I talk about it to him all the time. But just the small things in the game that really change the outcome. But so Monk makes a 3 with 7 seconds left, and coach always says, even in practice, less than 6 seconds, we're calling timeout and we're drawing a play up. But I mean, coach with calling timeout, so. It was about 7, maybe 8 seconds. So Kennedy gets the ball out great, like really quick, which is what we're taught since the first day we're at practice. As a freshman, you're taught get the ball out as quick as you can. And Kennedy's the best at that. So gets it out and throws it to Theo. And we always talk that if he threw it to Justin or Joel, like I probably wouldn't have touched the ball. But I mean, Theo's just unbelievable player. You see now he played in the NBA, kind of finding the spot. He has a niche because of the team guy he is, plays the right way. And he gets the ball, and I just start sprinting down the court because that's what we're taught to do as Carolina big men. And all of a sudden I see Theo coming to the middle of the court, and I'm like, man, like he must be going to the basket. So I was like, let me just space out. Like if he's going down the middle, I can maybe get to the wing. And if he gets doubled, he'd kick it to me. And Theo starts going down the middle and realizes Willis is helping off me. So he dribbles to me and kind of picks Willis and pitches it. And I knew right when he pitched it, I was like, and this is going in, just because like the week I had, Butler, Kentucky, I just been shooting it really well. And to be put in that situation, even as a sophomore, not playing very much, no matter how my season had gone previous to that, you would think, based on those past 2 games, that I'd been playing that way all year, and just that's the amazing thing with confidence, and that's the amazing thing with basketball. You just you get rolling and you get hot. And right when I left my hand, I knew it was in. I tell my family, I tell all my teammates all the time, I wish it would have gone in at the buzzer instead of having a little time left. But that's being a little petty about it. So,
point three is pretty good. Point three isn't bad, right?
Yeah, you're right. So,
what
I
was
mean,
it
it
like
was
afterwards?
unreal.
Like,
It
what
was
was
unreal.
that like again? Was it a blur? Like, do you even remember me interviewing you after that game, or was it all a blur?
I remember interviewing you. I just right after I hit the shot, I fist pumped and then I just kind of went black and can't really remember too much after that. And then I remember your interview. I remember hugging all of my teammates after the horn went off. I mean, it was just incredible. And I remember Coach Cal just really being genuine and super, super class and just said, great shot. You're a great player. And even as a sophomore, like, I mean, he kind of saw something in me. And I mean, he really is a great coach. And I mean, I never had met him before. And I had a pretty good game in Vegas, hit a couple shots there as well. And I mean, he's always been somebody who I respected because of the coach he is and because of how he treated me after that game. I mean, he could have just been frustrated and head down. And I mean, class guy. And that really meant a lot to me. And it was a huge stage. And he really showed a lot of respect, which I really, really appreciated.
We'll get back to the show in a minute, but first, let me tell you about our partners over at DraftKings Sportsbook. With March Madness beating down our door, DraftKings is the best way for you to get a little action in on the game. If you've not downloaded the DraftKings Sportsbook app yet, what are you waiting for? It's the safest, it's the most secure, it's reliable, and it allows you to safely deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. And this week, they're offering my listeners a pretty sweet deal. If you sign up now with the promo code FIELD68, you can turn $1 into $100 if one of the main event fighters in UFC 259 this weekend lands a single punch. That's it. One punch to turn $1 into $100. And don't worry, if MMA isn't your thing, DraftKings Sportsbook offers odds and promos on basketball, hockey, or whatever sport you're watching. But since they're basically giving away $100, you might as well sign up now, watch a little UFC, and remember to use that promo code FIELD68. That's FIELD68. You must be 21 years or older. The offer is available for a limited time only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. So the next morning when you walked into your 8 a.m. class, is that when you realized?
Most people remember that. Most people remember that more than the shot. I mean,
well, it's crazy. First of all, what the hell are you doing going to an 8 a.m. class after making that shot? What are you thinking?
I go into college. I mean, I was a straight A student in high school. My mom said grades came first, and my dad was a Moorhead. My mom had great grades, and they really prided themselves on having kids who were good in the classroom first. And I know this is hard to believe, but I didn't miss a class my entire career at Carolina. And that's maybe hard to believe considering the allegations that Carolina's had and everything. But, I mean, they really wanted us to go to class, and they checked our classes. But, I mean, I was going to go no matter what because I wanted to learn, and I was worried that if I missed something in class, I'd miss something on a test, and there's no reason for that. So we got back at like 3:45, 4 o'clock. I got about 3 hours of sleep and was up ready to go. And I'm so glad I went. And I had to walk in like 5-10 minutes late because like there had to be a little bit of a facade walking in, you know.
Did you realize then how much your life had changed when you walked into that class and everybody gave you that standing ovation?
Yeah, so I walk in, I'm walking to my seat because I sit the same seat every day, front row, just because I really think that you learn best there. And before I sit down, all of a sudden I just hear everybody clapping, and I'm like, I guess the professor said something or something. So I look up, and he's looking at me like, motioned me to stand up. And you know me, like not really an outgoing guy, so I stood up and kind of waved my hand, and I really appreciate everybody. And then everybody started standing up, and I was like, man, like this is really gonna be something special. But then I tell everybody, like everybody asks, is that the greatest moment in your career? And I tell everybody that shot would have meant nothing if we lose the next game, like they would have forgot about it. And because we win the next two games,
Right.
it's way more important. And that's really my best accomplishment is winning national championship, because without that, I mean, my shot means nothing. And I mean, it's a team sport, and so few people win a national championship in any sport in college. And to have a chance to do it twice and to finally do it our second time around was pretty special. And I remember Coach Williams saying, after we won it that summer, he came in the exit meeting, he said, I don't want your career to be defined by one shot. And I hated we didn't do better in the tournament my next 2 years. We kind of lost early, and I mean, it was a lot of on me and kind of just playing better in matchups, things like that. But I feel like I played as well as I could, and I had some really good games. It was my last 2 years, and felt like it helped solidify myself as one of the better players that came through there. And that's saying a lot, which is really, really special for an in-state kid to kind of say going in there as, like you said, as a walk-on, but I did get a scholarship all 4 years. But just it's pretty special to say for somebody who's from the state of North Carolina.
See, I think it's the coolest part of your story. Like to me, some people would try to deflect the walk-on part. Like to me, that's what makes you you. It is. I mean, like that's part of, again, that ride that you had in Chapel Hill and made you who you are today. How much, Luke, did that shot, those couple seconds, that ball's in the air, how much did that change your life?
It changed my life tremendously. I mean, there's still when I go back to Carolina, I mean, just sitting at a restaurant, there's people who come up to me and it's like, hey, like my cousins live in Kentucky and they're big Kentucky fans and they hate you so much and I love it, and something like that. Or like,
yeah.
even when we got our rings the very next year, it was a North Carolina football versus Louisville football, and all the Louisville fans were standing up, clapping when I got my ring. It was just like small things like that. Like I mean, it goes a long way. And I mean, when I'm 45, 50, just telling my kids, and I mean, it'll be something that people talk about forever. And I mean, it's pretty cool that I'll be in the history books with North Carolina. But I mean, like I said, without my team and without us winning it, I mean, it means nothing. And that's most important. And I mean, that's my greatest accomplishment, is helping us win a national championship.
Well, we appreciate it, Luke. Iconic shot in the 2017 Elite Eight. I was there for it, and man, it was amazing. It was amazing, and even more amazing knowing your story. I think that's the other part, Luke, that to me it was very cool because of your story and everything that you kind of had to persevere through to become the player that you were. So appreciate it. All the best in Italy. All the best, so continuing, expand your cooking horizons. All right.
All the best to you as well.